Your first step is going to be finding your center, and you're going to do that by drawing a 4-inch horizontal line, 4 inches down, and also a vertical line. This is an 8-inch square, so you're separating it just so it's easier when you are placing the tiles down for your letter, for your initial. We want to do that first. Then placing the tile, you are going to start with a border. You need to go right to the edge of your wood and the corners, and it really needs to be the same thickness. So you can do that by using the squares and the rectangles. They're the same thickness to get a line. You can also do triangles spaced like this along the edge. You could do the diamonds where the one side is flat, and so it looks kind of like it's sort of at an angle, but it will create a flat edge. The corners might be a little bit tricky, but it's okay if it's not a perfect corner when you get that far. And you just want to place them, you know, just with a little bit of space in between. There's gonna be grout that we're going to grout over top of this at the very end. So you do want to have a little bit of space in between. And whatever glue you see on the wood, that's gonna be covered up with the grout. So once you decide what colors you want and what shape of tiles you want for the border, you're just gonna go ahead and just set them all down. And then one by one, you're going to pick them up and glue just the border. You need to work in sections. So that would be your first section. Your next section would be to start with your letter. That's the most important part. So if your letter is symmetrical and you can put it on that center line, then great. Some of you are not going to be able to do that, so you might want to draw your letter in with just roughly, just the shape of it with your pencil too. That's also something that you may want to think about. So right here, the sections after I did the border, the next section I worked on was just part of the T. When they get this close together, especially the triangles, once you lay it down, it's hard to pick them up to glue them, but you have to be really careful, one piece at a time. So I did one half and then the other half, and then I did the other, the vertical part of the T, and then I started to do some of the green border. So everything is glued except this side right here. So this is about how much glue you need and how you need to move them carefully to glue. So you're just gonna have some glue, this is wood glue, on your plate and a Q-tip, and you have to do it one by one. So this is really just, you know, a test of your patience. So you just dip your Q-tip in, and you want it to be a little globby, not just kind of a flat smear. It does have to, you know, have something to kind of to hold it there. So it can be moved around for a few minutes, maybe not quite that long, but so when you're doing the next one, if you bump it, you can easily move it back into place, but you just kind of have to move it out of the way. Put your glue glob. If it's a square, you're just gonna need one little glob. If it's a rectangle, you might need to kind of draw a little bit of a line with it and then move it into place. So you do have to, you know, watch and make sure if you bumped the tiles around the one you're gluing, that you move it back into place. So and you're not doing a line of it. You need to work one at a time. And then when you finish, so like I said, this is one section that I did not glue, but that's how kind of small you need to work. Just place your tiles down, glue them, and then place some more tiles down. And like I said, the goal is to try to fit them together like a puzzle. I haven't decided what I'm gonna fill in these spaces with yet, but there's gonna be say if you wanna do something kind of like this and make more of like a picture, like a flower or something, it's gonna be hard to fit tiles around it, but you just really want to do your best with the shapes that you have. mosaics, people who work in mosaics, they cut their own shapes. We're not doing that. So you just kind of, if there's, if you don't have little spaces in between, like you can kind of see here and here, it didn't work for me to, have a skinny space. You just try to minimize the space as best as you can.